Alright, this is the 4-barrel 4-float carburetor. Okay, this is for Hemi engines with four butterfly valves in the bottom, and these would be spring loaded. This is the throttle linkage, cam underneath the boat floats, the manifold part up into the top butterfly valves, which are not exactly butterfly valves. And then the checkered part would be the air filter, and we'll do scopes. Let's do scope top. Stop. Stop. Okay, here's what it looks like in the bottom. And then we have the manifold, a couple air, small passageways from the butterfly to butterfly. And then we have two cross pinions, which the butterflies float on, and they're at angled degrees. That's why you see them that way. Over here is the throttle linkage, some holes, accelerator parts. Then it gets into the bottom ventries, which don't look like ventries. This outer ring is a cam lobe. Over here you see it it contacts the throttle switch to control the float spring diaphragms. And then over here is the ventries again, and then we see the casing of the floats. And then inside there's a cylinder, and then the float goes around the cylinder, and then it's into the 4-float carburetor. Usually there's two. These are the baffles, and then over here on the other side, other than the spring linkage, would be the fuel inlet port. Here's the ventries, and then up a little more, we get into the next stage where it goes before it gets into the ventries. We have the lids, and then it gets on top of that, and then we have a hole that brings it into the lids, which has a cover, and then when we get to the air filter, it's checkered, and then it finally has a top to the air filter. And now we'll look at it from the side view. You could see a little, not quite half, but you see the dumping valves for the ventries, the air filter. Here's the ventries, and you have they have butterfly valves on it. And then over here's the main throttle body, and then you see the throttle body spring right there, right here where I'm looking at. Main throttle body spring, and then it wraps around, and then we have two ports up here which are spring loaded for the valves, and then that is the cam that works on this. This is the cam that works on the bottom float, and then we tie up, and then we finish our 4-float carburetor.